Hey everyone, it is Clint. Welcome to Sweetcast. How's that for a video thumbnail? We'll see if this actually happens. I don't know if it will, but I tried to make something visually interesting for my cell phone video. My son said, "Dad, you're gonna make a video with my pumpkin?" And I said, "Yeah, if I'm doing a cell phone video, I might as well make it. I gotta look at something. We just spent the morning doing this." And he says, "My pumpkin is going to be famous." So at least famous to, I don't know, a few hundred people. There's my daughters. She saw that on Pinterest. And then I did this for my other daughter, and she drew it, and I tried to duplicate it onto a pumpkin face. It was no easy task. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about is a concept, the Moneyball concept. If you watch the movie Moneyball, they the point is that statistically speaking, they have so much information on different players that they know if a player is going to they don't need the all-star. They don't need to pay for somebody to hit a home run every time because it's so expensive. And for the teams that can afford to do that, that's great. But if you're a team that doesn't have that kind of a budget for players, then you're not going to be able to afford to hit this home run. Now, comics work exactly the same way. And I think it kind of goes without saying. Sometimes it feels like the elephant in the room, but it's just the truth. And you can tell when some publishers are perhaps really struggling financially when they put out books, especially when they used to put out books that were at this kind of level, and then all of a sudden you start seeing quality drop massively. Chances are they're going through some financial trouble. But my point is, I think in independent comics that there is a kind of like a Moneyball equation. And yeah, it has something to do with your creative team, but I think it has a lot to do with your printer, has a lot to do with how are you promoting your book and all that jazz. Like how much effort are you putting into a project and money versus what is the reward at the end. And I think you can either think of it like on Moneyball, like initially people were paying for the big heavy hitters and then they would win the games. But if you got down to the narrow and said, what does this person do best? Because this player does this best, we're going to focus on that and get basically the maximum benefit from that. I hope that makes sense. So same thing, I think, with artists and creative teams. What I have laid out here are, I wanted to try and get all of the books that I got in the last 3 months. These are just some of the books that I got in the last 3 months, and there are a lot of them. A lot of really nice looking books. And so if we back up here a little bit, there's already, hey bud. If we get up here, like if I look at these books, they, even, not chromium, but generally speaking, these look like professional comic books on every level. Professional comic books, stuff that you'd be getting from, existing established publishers. This is here to remind me to ask you to back Fatal, the commercial break. It's on Indiegogo right now, and it has some of the best artwork that you're going to see in comics. Don't forget to back it today. And also Downcast, I have these Matt Weldon variant covers, the last of them, and then also some original art for sale. There, did my commercial break. I'm good now. These have some of the best artwork that you're going to see in comics. If not, like it stands up against anything that you're going to see being put out in mainstream comics. And I'm not just saying that, good and bad. You're really seeing some of the same level of quality. And I know that mainstream comics is capable of getting the big heavy hitters, because they used to do that more often. But the fact that they aren't, that things have kind of changed a bit, generally speaking, into sort of a maybe indie comics quality, or sometimes less so. as opposed to like blockbuster quality, that tells me that financially things aren't going as well as they used to be. Now, you could look at sales numbers and get all of that same information, but I think for the layman, like if you're just into comics and you're just seeing what comes off the shelves, and if you know, hey, Batman used to look like this, Batman used to have, writing like this, and then you notice it sort of drift over time, it does make you ask some questions as to why have things changed. So I guess my takeaway as I thought about this a little bit, black and white is not Chrono Mechanics and black and white. I got these like within a month of each other, or close to it. Maybe it was 2 months. Anyway, my point is, I think if you're an independent creator, this Moneyball principle, you can make it work to your favor. If you're a writer, like the biggest question I get is, if you're a writer, how do you find an artist? What I think is a good idea is to actually find an artist first and find out what their strong suits are, what they like to do. You're going to be able to see that in their art and projects that they already have under their belts. And if you focus in on putting them so that they're doing what they're best at, you're going to get a better book for your money, ultimately. If maybe somebody's art style is really suited to horror, but it doesn't look good with, I don't know, skylines or something like that, or it doesn't, they don't draw women very well. They draw men great, women well, or maybe they draw women really well. Like, you want to make sure that you're focused in on what they do well. This is sort of a concept that has been in independent films. I have seen it an awful lot, where they'll even tell you before you write the script, if you want to make an independent film yourself, you have the budget in mind. And so you think, what kind of movie can I make for X amount of dollars? And you write your script around that. Your budget for comics is different. It has less to do with what is in the book necessarily, and more to do with the creative team. So if you build your script around what makes sense, this Moneyball principle, again, you're just going to have a better looking book for what you have. So I don't think that mainstream comics are doing this. I think that they can't do it, really. And partially is because they're already dialed into what kinds of IP they have. DC always has Batman. They always have Hawkman. They always have Aquaman. And they can change a little, but it's not full free reign. When you're in independent comics, you can actually use it to your benefit to do something different. You know what I mean? Like, you can make your story suited for what you have. And I think that actually gives you, an independent creator, the advantage over the mainstream. Just like in Moneyball. I really think it's very similar. Anyway, so appreciate the person that mentioned that, made that connection for me offline. That has been helpful, and I've been thinking about it quite a bit. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Happy Halloween. Don't forget to back Fatal on Indiegogo right now. And you can also check out Downcast to get these copies that are running out quickly, and also get some original art. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.